go. Good morning. How are you all doing? My camera looks a bit odd. Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Good morning. Welcome to my birthday stretch and release. It's my birthday today. Yes, it is. Happy birthday to me. This morning, so we're going to do a quick stretch and release. If you're joining, you're going to need a foam roller. I'm going to go with my big foam roller. I say 2 prickle balls and a band. Soft prickle balls so we can work into some fascia, and we're going to get going, guys. So welcome. If you're just joining me, my name is Ali. I run this online fitness studio. I'm a fitness professional and I specialize in group exercise. And this morning, the 2nd of January 2021, it's my birthday. I'm 42. I don't care. And it doesn't matter, does it? That's how old I am. Get over it. Get over it, I say. I can't see any comments. Let's have a look what I've got. Yes, absolutely, Anna. Rolled up yoga mat works fine for a foam roller, although you will need some prickle balls. And I'm going to work into the quads as well. So with all that being said and done, let's get on, guys. I'm going to work into the quads first. Place those there, balance them. They go rogue. They really do. So we're going to come down onto the floor. I'm going to put my foam roller underneath my quads halfway. If you don't have a foam roller, then you can use your prickle balls underneath your quads there. You can see someone's given me something message on Instagram. I can't see it. I'm sorry, guys. It's too far away. So we're just going to rest down. I'm going to rest down here. Oh, kneecaps to the floor. So try not to let your heels roll in here. It's always very difficult for me. And I am using my bigger foam roller, so my hips are higher. Now that might not feel very comfortable for you, so please use your prickle balls underneath your quads. I'm going to come up onto my elbows, shoulders away from your ears. Now pull up with your tummy, so you're not letting that arch happen here. And we're just going to roll slowly, just drawing yourself up towards your kneecaps. And just a nice easy breath. Let the breath flow in through your nose, out through your mouth, preferably. But if you don't like breathing out through your mouth, out through your nose, one or the other, and just rolling down over those little tender spots. So we're going to work into those knots in the muscle. You can roll over your pubic bone if you feel that you can. If not, please don't worry. Just roll just up towards it. So you can feel those little tender spots. That's where the fascia has got dehydrated and sticky. And what we're doing, we're acting like you would a sponge, and we're squeezing out all the waste that's built up. And then as we release, it's like you placing your sponge back underneath your tap running clean water. So we're just bringing the nutrients back in. So those little sticky spots will pull on other parts of the body. Everything is connected. It's not separate. So just think about that. And doing this is some nice TLC. Ooh. And just rolling. Just keeping your shoulders away from your ears, kneecaps to the floor. I'm just going to come up. Oh, that is very tender on one side. That reminds me, right and left can be so different. So don't worry if they don't feel the same. That's completely normal. Okay, just pressing back, and then you're going to come back into a child's pose here. I'm actually going to use my foam roller for my hands, so I can just roll them away. And I'm going to use my thumbs up towards the ceiling. Try not to let the head roll through the hands too much. So just keeping the biceps near the ear, and just allowing the lower back to spread open. Now here, just acknowledge if your hips are slightly different. So for me, my left hip is lower than my right. I can feel that because I can feel my heel on one side and not on the other. So I can feel where I'm a little bit tighter. And then release, roll yourself up, coming over onto one side, doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both. I'm just going to stretch into this quad now, so I'm just going to pull your head on your hand, on your arm, whichever's comfortable, squeeze your bottom, and then just opening up the front. Now you may feel this a little bit more higher up into this kind of where the hip flexor comes. Try not to arch the back. So we're looking for the top hip to be stacked onto the bottom. So directly on top. And again, just letting your breath flow. Trying to make your out breath longer than your in breath. And then release. You can just roll over, but I'll turn round so that I can stay facing you. So either resting your head onto your hands, other side, hips are stacked, pull back with the tummy, squeeze the bottom and just open up the front of the hip too. Bottom leg can be bent, straight, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just feeling that stretch down the front. Be careful that the knee isn't too high. Just holding that down. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Excellent, and just release that off, guys. Come round onto your back. 2 prickle balls underneath your glutes. Oh, I'm going to get tangled up with my wire. Here we go. So placing them into the fleshy part of your bottom. And if you think about having jean pockets, they'd just be just where the jean pocket would start. So quite high up, just where you put your hands in, but wide. So right in the middle of those. And just trying to melt over the top. So from here, not letting the knees flare out, keeping that nice kneecaps to the ceiling, fist-sized gap there or thereabouts. And we're just going to gently roll side to side. So you're rolling on the balls, pressing over, and then we're going to go the other way. Now you do need to keep placing those balls back underneath. As I said, they go a little bit rogue. And we're not trying to hold the weight off. So we're looking for movement and compression. So the compression is the weight on the ball. So you don't want to press the feet too far into the floor to lift up. You're not just tickling the skin. Or just rolling side to side. So this area is a big area for conjunctions, for fascia crossing over. And as I said, it is all connected. It's not separate. Although as we're humans, we do like to visualize things, don't we? So if you think about them in lines, you've got a back line. Okay, come to a nice still position here. So from here, what I'd like you to do, I'm going to use my left hip. So I'm going to take the right one out and I'm going to come over onto the side. So I'm going to lift the left one up just a little bit and I'm going to lengthen that left leg and I'm going to roll onto my side. Now I'm using that weight. It can be quite tender, so I want you to keep breathing. So from here, I'm going to roll onto my front. Now, roll forward. If I come up here, you'll see. So it's here. I'm going to roll onto it, coming into the front, into that hip flexor. So you're rolling there, and then we're going to roll back. So from there, keep breathing, use your breath. And you can use your arms and your hands to lift up if it's a little bit too tender, and it can be, especially coming into the hip flexor. So I know it doesn't look very pretty, does it either? it's not a pretty movement. So just rolling forward, coming in, and you can come right onto it and just rest in there, and then just roll it back. That's where it's tender for me, right at the top, right into that glutes side of there. And then we're going to change sides. So just move that ball over to the other side. And then we do the other side. I'm going to turn around, try and roll in towards you. So it's right in the corner. Lengthen the right leg. And as I said, it's not pretty, is it? It's not a pretty move. So you're just rolling onto the front. Try not to hold too much of your weight off. Allow as much as you can, so we've got that compression. And you're just rolling across. Oh, that's sore. Try not to hold too much up. Nice, just rolling forward, coming onto the front, into the hip flexor. You know where you stretch the hip flexor? You can feel that tension. Right and left, completely different, and each one of us will be different too. So we've got all that to contend with. Excellent. Alrighty, guys, just come off that one. And if you've a band, let's have a little stretch into the hamstring. So taking the band around the bottom of the right foot onto your back. The band is there so I can use that for tension here. Relax the shoulders. And we're looking for a straight leg. So just gently bringing that leg towards your chest. Gently increasing the tension. You're not trying to lift off too much just to get the leg closer to you. I want you to feel the tension. And then just hold it and let your breath just flow nicely. You can, of course, lengthen the other leg out. Flexibility changes daily. And then you can lift that chest. But remember, you're not lifting the chest and then just pressing the leg away. You still want that tension underneath that hamstring. But not so much that it's shaking. Not so much that it's shaking. Change the band into the same hand as the leg and then just drop that out. So either the foot is on the floor with the knee bent or the leg is out. Arch of the foot to the ceiling. And we're looking for the tension to be on the inside of the leg. Keep the shoulder down. And then slowly bring it back to the center. Let's do the other leg. Hamstring stretch. So just starting off, straight leg, band under tension. And then slowly bring it towards you. And if you want to, of course, you can lengthen the other leg out. And just acknowledging which leg is a little bit more flexible than the other. Mine changes, absolutely changes. I just want to remind you as we're here in this kind of stretch position. And of course, if you wanted to lift that chest this time, do so. I, as being an ex-dancer, of course, you know, the splits were where we were always going. It can be detrimental to be too flexible. So changing the hand into the same hand as the leg, dropping the leg out to the side, keeping the hips and the shoulders down. Try not to arch the back. And we're looking for that tension to be on the inside of the leg. If you're a little bit too flexible, there's a tendency to be that the joints are not stable. So there's a point where you can be too flexible and then potential injuries coming from that. So you've got two ends of the scale. You can be too tight and the muscles are pulling, and that will potentially give you some injuries, or you can be too flexible and there's no stability. We want to be somewhere in between, don't we? All the ex-dancers are like, no. Slowly bring the leg back. And I know you're all giggling. And release, take the bands away. Use the knee to sit yourself up nice and slowly. And come round onto your knees. So from here, let's come into a hip flexor stretch. Doesn't matter which foot. Hips and shoulders at your 12 o'clock. Pull back with your tummy and then squeeze your backside. Gently open up the front of the hip. So with that backside being nice and tight, we're shortening that muscle with the contraction. And then we're lengthening the front of the muscle. But before you even move, if you've got that nice and tight, you don't have to move very far to feel that extra tension in the front. So these kind of exercises, movements, flexibility, stretching, however you want to see them, they're really good to do just before a workout, after a workout, and at any time that you've got some time. So just gently easing off. You may feel this stretch right in the front of the hip, and you may feel it just pulling that gentle tension coming down into the quads too. And release, change your sides over. And again, shortening the back, so squeezing into that glute on that side. I can feel that straight away this morning without even moving forward, and then just gently leaning in. So again, try not to let the shoulders turn towards the leg that you're stretching. Hips and shoulders facing your 12, and gently pressing forward. Front knee isn't going over your toes. Just opening up the front. Keep this nice and tight. Don't let that loosen off. And then release. So prickle balls. This will be a nice one, she says. Okay, you can use 2 or 1. Can use a foam roller for this as well, actually. You could use a foam roller for this. So we're just going to come down the front of the shin, but obviously not the inside, because this is quite bony, this bit. What we want to do is roll more onto the side of the calf coming into the front. So again, these are never very graceful. They are never very graceful. So I'm going to come onto my hands and knees slightly forward, and I'm just going to roll it along that front bit, but more onto the outside. We're breathing though, aren't we? Shoulders away from the ears. So I've got my toe slightly turned in to get that onto the outside of that. We've got a little bit more weight on this. Just rolling it down. Couple more times. Pull up with your tongue, just engaging with the core here too. You're not letting gravity just take over. And then just sit down and just press the ball onto the top of this foot. So as I've been saying, it's all connected, and the top of our foot get a little bit neglected. So you can sit however you want, really however you want, don't worry. And I'm just getting some pressure on the top. And maybe on the outside too. Super. Let's do the other side. I know. And again, fiddly, yes, I know. So turning that toe in, so we're more on the outside of the shin, but coming down the front too. So I'm coming up near the knee, and going into the ankle. And they do go rogue, so shoulders away from your ears. Just pressing along. This one's slightly more tender on this side for me. Coming near that ankle. You might start to feel some warmth as well. A couple more times. Super, and release, top of the foot, and again sit however you want, just so that you can get some pressure pressing into the hand, into the foot. It's always a little bit sore going over this foot, as I have a bunion on this one, so that's always nice. super job. And release. Take your foam roller, and we're just going to work down the back before we stand up this morning. So I'm just going to place that. I think this is why the bigger ones are a little bit better. The smaller one doesn't have so much curvature, does it? It's not such a cute. So I've got it at the base of my ribs. I'm just going to hold my hands behind my head, tuck my chin in, hold the weight of my head, and just lift my bottom up. So I'm just going to gently roll down. And as I roll closer to the middle of my shoulder blades, I'm going to pull my elbows in and gently chin towards the chest. Just coming up to where the shoulders begin with the neck, but not over the neck. And then you can just drop down. Now you can, if you feel comfortable, to open up the chest and lean over. I've still got hold of my head. And just acknowledging any tight places here. And again, I can feel that my right elbow isn't opening up as much as my left. And then just lifting and pulling up and rolling down. And then again, rolling. Maybe opening up that chest. Letting your breath flow. And one more time. Just hold in wherever you can. If there's a tender spot, if you can hold it just a few extra seconds with a deep breath, it does just help just a little bit. Try not to roll off it fast. Okay, so from here, use your knee to sit yourself up. And we're going to come up to stand. Coming through an inverted V. So obviously if you don't like this movement, it doesn't suit you, please make your way to stand. It's just going to stretch out our calves as well. So making sure the inside of your elbows are pointing inwards and not away from you. If you find that not so easy to do, if you turn your hands in, index fingers in a little bit, that does help. So you're going to press your hands into the floor, tuck the toes, lift the bottom. And of course, bend your knees if you need to. What I'd like you to do is think about pulling up with your tummy, looking towards your knees, not your feet. Stay up nice and high. Try to turn the arms in so the triceps are pressing out and the shoulders away from the ears. And then just lower your heels down as much as you can. Look into your knees, not your feet. Slowly walking your hands back towards your feet. Bend your knees if you need to. And we're going to curl ourselves up. So with that, I'd like to, if you've got your knees bent, it's exactly the same. Tuck your tailbone in under so you're not sticking it out. Just round off the back. Nice and slowly, using the core here to get that wraparound support. And head coming onto your shoulders. Give yourself a second. Don't get dizzy. And if you've got your foam, your Prickle balls, we're going to put them under one foot and have that nice massage here. So you're squidging it down. Brace your core, slightly lean forward so you've got that nice stable base. And we're just going to roll forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. Open your toes. And release, change sides. Squidge it down. Make sure you've got some pressure onto it. Rolling it forward and backwards. Nice work, guys. And release, feet. Oh, hello. Trip me over. Feet underneath your hips, toes facing forward, small gap between your feet. tuck the tailbone slightly under. So you've only got your natural arch, shoulders over hips, tuck your chin in. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, tuck your chin. We're going to go for a roll down. So we're just going to, if you need to, of course, bend your knees, but lift up the back of the leg, tuck the tailbone underneath. You're not sticking it out. Weight evenly on the front and the back of your foot. Allow yourself to come down. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, pull your toes back towards you and then roll yourself up. Again, use the core, wrap it round and rolling up. Slowly, slowly. Lift. Guys, take a deep breath in, lifting up, come up onto your toes, press towards the ceiling and release. Lovely. Give your shoulders up. Nice big roll, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for my birthday stretch and release today. You can join me at 10 for a super sculpt in my home workout group or in any of the workout groups. I'm going to be live there at 10 o'clock. The music today was brought to you by Pure Energy. I forgot to put that in there. It's one of my favorites. It's the Mind Body Beats Volume 5. And it takes you to Ibiza. So I'll put that in the comments if you are looking for new music, guys. Of course, pop over to Pure Energy. Thank you very much. I'm back. Are you on my mailing list? You won't know what I'm offering. If not, really, it's easy. Send me your email address. I'm back Monday night live here for the bar. It's going to be a half an hour hit. And of course, you can join all my masterclasses and my classes on a pay-as-you-go basis. They are £4 per class. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you this morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.